Hey, what's up guys? Awesome Bomb here, and today I want to share my Borderlands 2 impressions. Borderlands 2, it's an open world first-person shooter with some RPG elements in them, an RPG role-playing game. Um, this game is really something I like. This is open world, which I'm a big fan of. I don't uh, like linear games that just don't give you the option to freely explore the world, right? I can play those kind of games, but I'm not really a big fan of them. So anyway, but yeah, it's an open world first person shooter. Uh, I've been a bit disappointed with the first person shooter genre for a little while, but Borderlands 2 makes up for it. It's a really good game anyway. And yeah, the RPG elements, I'll explain them later. This is a really good. This is a really cool game. It's just so many different kind of things all put into one game, and it's just cool. So I'm gonna first let you guys know what I think about the gameplay, what I don't like about it, what I do like about it. Then I'll share my thoughts on the story, and at the end I'll give my the verdict, the score, which I would give it. All right, so let's start off with gameplay. I was playing the game as the Commando class. There are actually three more classes in the game, which are Siren, Gunzerker, and Assassin. And there are actually two others, but those are DLC, so whatever. Uh, but yeah, I played this game as a Commando class. That's pretty much the standard class. I just thought I didn't really uh, put much research into all these classes before I started playing. I was like, well, you know what, fuck it, Commando seems reasonable. It's just standard kind of thing. That kind of fits me, and I don't like going doing. I don't like how do I say that? I don't like to go out of my comfort zone, so to say. I prefer to have something that's more kind of standard than this other thing I've never even tried to do. But yeah, whatever. So, alright. So the gameplay, what I liked about the gameplay, first of all, is that there's literally, okay, not literally, but it feels like there's unlimited different amounts or different variations in guns. Every gun is different, or so it seems at least. It's probably not, but there's got to be some copies of the same gun. But so this game has so many different kind of differently constructed guns. There's all these guns have certain damage, certain accuracy, certain reload speed, fire rate. You know what I'm saying? There's so many things that can be changed or can be different with each gun, right? And that it just makes a big difference, and that's all the first thing that's kind of with the RPG thing. This because of this whole list of things that can be different, like the damage and accuracy, blah blah blah. You always want to when you find a weapon. You've seen it in my gameplay if you watched it. Whenever you find a weapon, you kind of want to see is it any better than my weapons that I am using right now, or is it just garbage, you know? But yeah, this is it's really cool how they have so many different things that can be done or can have a gun can have. So it's just fucking crazy. But yeah, also the guns handle very well. There's not they don't feel like there's something really wrong with them. They just don't feel awkward, you know. These guns handle quite well, even though if their accuracy is a bit low. You can kind of get used to how low the accuracy is, and it's just something to get used to, and eventually get used to it, and then you're pretty much just going crazy with the gun. All right, so another thing I liked, uh, like of course this game has enemies, right? That's obvious. Which first-person shooter doesn't have enemies? But the game has quite a lot of different types of enemies. There's literally, I don't know how many types. It's just it's fucking ridiculous. I kind of see the enemies as this. these enemies are kind of like races, right? I mean, like there's one race right here, there's another race, kind of race enemy kind of thing. And then there's another one right there, another one right there, another one right there. 10 million kinds of races of enemies. Well, that's not really true, but you get the idea. And like in every single race, there's this type of enemy. Like it just I don't really know how to explain it. I mean, like there's for example, I'll say right now, there's a midget type. There's I don't know, commander type or something like that. Like a Goliath, and I mean sniper. You know, you can keep going like this. I mean, there's like quite a lot of different types of enemies, and then also the enemies have these badass ranks, like which makes them even more powerful than their like normal ranks. And yeah, I mean, that's just like crazy how many different types of enemies there are, and you always have to uh, like change your way of to approach these types of enemies. I mean, like when there's a group of different types, you're gonna have a bit of a problem sometimes. Maybe if you don't know exactly which type to attack first, which should be your priority to kill, because they're gonna be like a pain in the ass later on. And yeah, also this like the enemies are not just human. I mean, there's also some robot enemies and like these like alien creature-ish enemies. Like there quite a lot of different types of enemies. I mean, you get the idea here. Um, and yeah, the enemies, at least the human enemies, are actually also the robot ones. They have quite some fucking awesome dialogue sometimes. I mean, when you're just fighting these guys, they're just like they have these funny quotes sometimes. I mean, it's fucking crazy. Like for example, as I said before, like there's this midget type enemies, and like these midget types have like really high pitched, quite annoying voices, right? And like they're also always hyperactive and shit. And then like you have these like bigger dudes, like for example, little Goliaths or something like that. I mean, these are pretty large guys. And like sometimes when the Goliaths are fighting you, he just says something like, "God, you're more annoying than those midgets." It's like I don't know. I mean, it's just the way they say it. It's just it's so fucking hilarious sometimes when you're just fighting. You just get like this little smile on your face. You're just like, yeah, all right. But yeah, I mean, it's just I like this dialogue in the game a lot. I mean, it's just fun. It's not like it's not over serious or anything. It's like not fucking boring. It's just fun. It's like fucking cool. So all right. Of course, as I said, this is game is an open world game. I mean, you don't have a linear story. I mean, it's just like you can freely traverse the entire world basically. Like just whenever you want to, you can go back to a certain place and like do whatever the fuck you want. Um, but yeah, I mean, this world is fucking huge, and it is really fun to explore. I mean, literally, if it just feels like some of these like places like they just don't end. It's like it's so huge and like they just look so nice, and you're like, wow, I want to kind of explore more of this. I mean, I like this place. I want to see what's up. I mean, it's pretty fucking cool how this world is just like it's amazingly well done. All right, so another thing I liked about it, the gameplay, is that there's really a lot of fucking side missions, and like there's like I think yeah, by far there are more side missions than the main missions. I mean, it's fucking crazy how many there are. It's just I'm glad that there are so many side missions, because the thing is with these side missions, you actually like you get like certain rewards when you finish them. You can get like money to buy guns, or you sometimes even most of the time actually do get like a gun, which could be quite powerful sometimes, and you're like holy shit, I want to use this one. Um, like for example, there are these guns. So for example, I'm just gonna quickly explain this. When you headshot somebody, that actually is like a critical hit, at least on the human enemies, right? Uh, the headshot is a critical hit. It doesn't. No, sometimes it doesn't kill, and depends on how strong your gun is. Uh, like, and then there are these like certain guns that have these like mods on them, which like for example have like 800% critical hit damage. Like it's fucking ridiculous sometimes how powerful these guns are that you get from the side missions, and like it's fucking ridiculous. But hey, whatever. All right, so. Last thing I liked about the gameplay is that this game has a leveling system, and like whenever you kill an enemy or like finish a side mission or do something in a mission, or even main missions, by the way, you get experience from that, right? Like so, it's pretty much like a multiplayer kind of thing. I mean, this game actually is multiplayer, except that you can also play it single player, which is a good thing. I mean, there's an option for anyone. You can choose if you want to play it on your own or with other people whenever you want to. But yeah, I mean, it's really cool how they did that. But yeah, I mean, this leveling system is really cool. It gives you a reason to keep playing the game sometimes. Like just when you want to reach the highest level, like it's I don't know. It's just a good thing that they had that in the game. All right, so this game is not. Only good, right? I mean, there's some stuff I didn't like, obviously. So first thing I really didn't like about the gameplay is that some guns or like some gun types are quite overwhelmed by other guns or other gun types, you know, especially with the gun types. Like, for example, in the beginning of the game, I barely used the pistols and like. I think even shotguns. Assault rifles. That is. Sorry. So, in the beginning of the game, I mean, I was still kind of getting used to what is good and which gun types is like really good and which gun type isn't. And I found quite early that the assault rifles, the pistols, and even sometimes the shotguns they just lacked power. You know, compared to other types like SMG type and sniper. Is like it's really powerful sometimes, and like it just felt like these other gun types that I barely used because they were kind of weak, just kind of were there for no good reason. I mean, I don't know, whatever. So, but yeah, also. The guns themselves, like even the good guns, like the SMG and sniper, as I was saying, they just feel weak sometimes. Like just like especially in the first quarter or the first half of the game, the guns seem to be lacking power. Like overall, I mean, every single gun just felt like it needed a little power boost to really make a difference. I mean, it just I don't know. They felt too weak for me. The guns just felt too weak for me. But later on in the game, you actually get these like really powerful guns, and they really are quite powerful and really good sometimes. So I mean, the game makes up for it. But yeah, whatever. So as I said in my gameplay video. Another thing I just don't like when I'm playing a game is the art style. I mean, this game is just like, as I said, it just looks like a PS2 game with an HD filter over it sometimes. I don't know. It just looks so childish and straight from a. I don't know. It just like I don't know. I just don't like it. It just doesn't look right. I mean, sometimes this game does have really impressive kind of things that really look really cool, but I feel like they could have maybe been even cooler if they didn't choose to have this art style that looked too childish, especially for the genre. I mean, this just like the first-person shooters genre is very bloody and like violent. I don't know. It just doesn't feel like a childish art style fits to that, but. Whatever. I mean, it's a choice. I mean, I guess they tried to make Borderlands like when you see gameplay of the game, you immediately can tell that's Borderlands. I mean, I guess they kind of tried to do that as well. But what I also understand, at least what I got from myself. I mean, I don't even know if it's true or not. but I feel like, of course, as I said, like the game has some impressive things that look really cool, and I guess that kind of does mean that the art style fits to the world. So I don't know. I mean, I guess I don't like it. I don't like the art style, but it's okay. All right, I'm gonna accept it. I mean, it's not something I really like, but oh, it's something. Sorry, it's something I don't really like, but I can accept it as it is. I mean, as I said, it kind of does fit to the world. It doesn't fit to the genre, but it does fit to the world. So I'm gonna let it slide for right now. All right. So yeah, whatever. So enough about the gameplay. I mean, this is quite a long. This is a bit longer than I wanted it to be already. So enough about the gameplay. I want to real quick share my impressions or thoughts on the story of the game. So I mean, I'm not gonna spoil anything or anything, so don't worry about that. The story is a bit uninteresting in the beginning. Uh, I accept, like, I haven't played the first Borderlands game, for example. I mean, I've never read anything about Borderlands. I mean, I didn't know what the hell the game was about. So when I started the Borderlands 2, I was kind of like thrown into this world, like with this character, and you don't know who he is or why he is someone. I think they needed some more explanation. Um, but I can say this. I mean, this is going to be really early in the game. The character you're playing is a Vault Hunter, and like it was very poorly explained what the hell that actually is. So I was like, through the biggest part of the game, I was kind of like, okay, so I'm a Vault Hunter, but what the hell does that even mean? Like, I feel like they just didn't really do much to explain who you are and why you're in this world. But at some point, you find this, like, these recordings, or you can't find them any. I mean, they're not like mandatory to find. I mean, they're just like collectibles on the side if you want to pick them up if you see them by chance. But like there are these recordings that, like, when you pick them up, they start like playing. You hear your character say something to this guy, and you hear your character talking to blah blah blah, and you kind of do actually then get the backstory of your character, and it's somewhat interesting in that manner. But like I feel like they shouldn't have done that like with a collectible, but it should have been like mandatory so that you had to pick it up and had to listen to it. But yeah, I mean, whatever. So it's just like I feel like they didn't really introduce the world to you as good as they should have done it. But all right, so but yeah, I mean, of course, the story does get better over time. I mean, I think like maybe about like second half of the game, you kind of do get like the idea of who you are and what you're doing on this world, and like who the enemy is and why you're doing stuff, and like you kind of do get the idea of what you're doing. So I mean, that's a good thing. I mean, the story does pick up later on, so it's not a complete failure. Uh, I mean, you do make a connection with some characters. I mean, maybe even all characters. I don't know. Like there are some characters in this game that are just humorous, or other characters who are likable. Or like you kind of do get this like connection with the characters. You're like, hey, I like this guy. I like him. I like her. I like him. You know, like it's just that's a good thing. Like do get this like connection with them, and like when certain things happen to them, I'm not going to say what, you kind of do feel bad for them, and like it's a good thing. Like I like how there's this connection with them. Um, but of course, if you're somebody who doesn't give a shit about characters and like having you don't want to have a connection with them, then I don't think you're gonna have one. But yeah, whatever. So the climax of the story is pretty much like at the end, or like in the last 2 to 5 hours, let's say it like that. Like that's really the climax of the game, or of the story. And yeah, the ending leaves the door wide open for a third entry in the Borderlands franchise. I mean, it's just like so obvious that they want to continue this like game if it's successful, right? Uh, but yeah, I mean, I don't mind that. I mean, it's a cool thing. It's really cool how they just did that. Uh, so yeah, I guess that is that. So I want to real quick share my score I would give this game. So I would give this game a 9 out of 10. I mean, that's a well deserved 9 out of 10. I mean, this game is really fun to play, especially if you're a fan of first person shooters, or even if you're a bit disappointed by the first person shooters from the last few years. I mean, this game is quite fun if you haven't played it yet. I do highly recommend that you at least like give it a chance. You know, like it's a really fun game. It's very lengthy. I mean, this game can take you up to 50 hours at least to finish completely. Like, what if you play all the main missions, you'll probably be playing it for like, I don't know, at least 20 hours, I think. And like when you're all doing all these side missions, which I highly suggest, you'll be up to 50 hours in no time. I mean, this game is very long, and it sometimes feels like that it just doesn't have an end. I mean, it's ridiculous. So yeah, 9 out of 10. It's a well-deserved score. I mean, this game is fucking amazing. So yeah, I guess that is that for this video. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed. If you have any more questions, let me know in the comment section. I will answer them as quick as I can. Stay tuned for the Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons impressions. I'm going to do that next time. So yeah, later, guys. Stay tuned.